Hey guys, you're welcome again to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a personalized self-care box for 2020. Hi, I'm Torera, and on this channel I share DIY self-care videos. And self-care is so much more than the physical aspect. Admittedly, I share more physical DIY self-care, face masks, candles, things like that. But self-care is so much more complex than that. First of all, while doing my research, I found out that there are about 6 types of self-care. If you want to delve into the different types of self-care, I've written quite an intense blog post about it, and I want you to just read it. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Now, how do you create your own personalized self-care box? Maybe you haven't even thought about self-care. How do you make one that addresses your personal needs? Admittedly, guys, I have full transparency. I literally broke down twice last year because I wasn't paying attention to my self-care. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to get to the point where you need an emergency self-care kit. I want you to prioritize your self-care. You've probably gotten your planners, you've gotten your things, you've written down your goals for the year, but have you actually made a plan for self-care? This is so important. Make a plan for self-care, and I'm going to show you how. So I've seen a lot of self-care boxes, and they have nail polish, face masks, things like that. Yes, self-care can be those things, but what if your personal self-care need is not a face mask? What if you're fine with your physical self-care, but it's about your emotional self-care or your spiritual self-care? There's so much more to that. So I'm going to lead you to an assessment that you can do right now. Bring out a sheet of paper or a notebook or a planner, and let's do this together. I want you to write out the 5 different types of self-care: the spiritual, physical, emotional, social, and professional. There are other types of self-care, but these are the areas that I'm going to focus on. So whip out your sheet of paper and write that down. Once you've written that down, I want you to start asking yourself. You're going to assess yourself. So start asking yourself questions under each type of self-care. So for instance, your physical self-care. For me, I break out quite often. So I'm going to ask myself, am I breaking out lately? Under maybe spiritual self-care, I'm going to ask myself, have I been praying enough? So there are different kinds of questions that you can ask yourself. You can ask yourself, have I been sleeping properly? Do I have hobbies? So under each type of self-care, ask yourself these basic questions. Now, these questions can be as little as 5 or as many as 10. You can even go further if you want. If you need any help, you can always check the blog post. It's linked in the description box below. So once you've asked yourself those questions, I want you to count the number of... I know this is a self-care video. You're wondering why do I have to count all these numbers? Just trust me on this. I did this for myself, and it will help you so much. Count how many questions you've asked yourself under each type of self-care. So for instance, if you ask yourself 5 questions under self-care, it means that the total for that 5 will be 25. So once you've asked yourself those questions, I want you to score yourself from 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. So for instance, am I breaking out lately? For me, yes, I have. So that would be 4. Am I sleeping properly? For me, not so much. So that would be 3. So do you understand? 1 to 5, rate yourself. And don't forget to do it under each type of self-care. Now, once you have your results, so for instance, when you rate yourself on 5 questions, for me, I got 16 over 25 under physical self-care. So that tells me that I need work on the physical self-care. Do you understand? This is a way for you to get in tune with your body and ask yourself, okay, Torera, or call your own name, where am I needing help? Where do I need? Because how can you make a plan that's not personalized? How can you make a plan if you don't know where you need the self-care? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, based on those things that you've listed that you need help with regarding your self-care, you can start to now make a plan. Put it down in your calendar. For instance, am I going to sleep properly? This is the time I need to go to bed. So you can make that plan. But also I'm going to show you how to make a self-care box. This is a box that you can whip out on days where you need to prioritize self-care. It could be every week. It could be as often as you want it. My box is going to look very different from your box. Whatever it is that you're lacking in terms of your self-care needs is what you're going to put in your box. So for me, I'm going to show you what I will put in my box. So for instance, under spiritual self-care, I want to put a jar where I can put it's going to be like a gratitude jar where I can put every single thing that I'm grateful for, write it on a simple piece of paper and throw it in the jar so that I can whip it out and look at it and be like, oh wow, I've been so blessed. So many beautiful things have been happening to me. But if you don't take note of the blessings in your life, how will you remember? So for me, it's a gratitude jar. The second thing I will put is probably like a mini Bible, because it's a reminder. What this self-care box is a reminder for the areas of self-care that you need. Another one that's pretty high up my priority list is my relationship with my husband. So to represent that, what do? I'm taking the letters that he's written me since we were dating, taking all those letters and putting it in my box. I'm going to put a face mask as well. Why am I putting a face mask? Because it's a reminder for me to take care of my skin. So I hope you see where I'm going with this. What will your self-care box look like? I don't want to stretch this video because I don't want you to be here forever, but I want you to think about it. Make your plan for self-care. If you don't make a plan for self-care, you're not going to be able to give your best to the world. You shouldn't be giving the world what's left of you. You should be giving the world the best of you. So I really hope you found this video helpful. I hope you prioritize self-care, and I love you guys so much, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye! Don't forget to subscribe.